AEP.
All right.
Mr. AEP over.
We'll pretend that the combat mat is missing here.
Call him GEP, Galactic Electric Power.
So you grab Kit, and you guys take off. Right after you guys get in your ship and take off outside the hangar, several Yuuzhan Vong capital ships show up.
Oh. Wow.
That escalated quickly.
They show up. They come out of hyperspace, and all of a sudden, the alarms go off and all that good stuff.
Can you give us a description of what the ships look like?
They look like
Perception check.
rocks,
Right,
giant
roll it.
rock type of things.
Okay.
There's probably pictures of Yuuzhan Vong ships you can see.
I just-
Do a perception check on that.
For my
They're
character.
living ships.
Yeah, I was just for my
Yeah,
character, so.
I can't remember what they look like. Yeah,
That's
totally honest. What?
I said, can we do a perception check on that Fred roll it? It's like, God, it's their
Crit.
ships.
Every detail of that shit. It looks
See
like
right
they're-
there? Those are the wall sphincters.
All right. So anyway, you guys see all these. You guys see several big capital
checks are
ships show
sweet.
up. And remember, Rogue Squadron is out here too. Wedge Antilles gives the order to return Kip to the base, the Jedi base. They've actually damaged the reactor core of the ship you were in when you took off,
Well, that's awesome.
and so it's going to go critical probably in the next 20 minutes or so. So they're going to take off. You guys take off, and they'll leave the Peace Brigade with their loss of having a prisoner with the Yuuzhan Vong. Let them deal with them. I doubt if that'll go too well.
Not that there was many of them left.
Very true.
Yeah, so you're leaving the Peace Brigade and their failed mission
You
with the
suck.
Yuuzhan Vong. So they're probably in a lot of trouble. Or at least their captain's in a lot of trouble. So anyway, you guys enter hyperspace. You're going to take Kip back to the Jedi Academy.
That is on Yemen, right?
Yavin 4.
Yemen?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm thinking of a different. I think it's Mass Effect.
Yemen.
It's
You're
a-
thinking of Yemen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a country, though.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
So Kip appreciates all the help, but he does ask if he can speak to you privately. He wants to talk to you.
Alright.
Oh snap!
Wow.
Well,
Guys, promotion.
So anyway,
Show him the tornado.
he was impressed.
yeah.
So anyway, Kip talks to you, and he knows that you've been dabbling in the dark side, and kind of expresses his concern about the way that you're kind of going. And he also knows what it was like, because at one point in time early when he was being trained as a Jedi, he was under the influence of Exar Kun, who was a dead Sith Lord from the past, but his ghost was still alive in one of the this is in a book. He was in one of the Masasi temples. So the Masasi, something like that.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Anyway, his spirit was still alive inside of one of these temples, and he sort of persuaded / not really took over his body, but he led him to the dark side, and Kip did some really bad things, and Luke was able to bring him back. So anyway, he knows what the dangers are, and kind of expresses that to you, and also is willing to take you as an apprentice if Luke says it's okay. So he wants to know if you're interested in him being your instructor / master, assuming he can talk Luke into it.
I'd like to ask him what that means for the rest of the group.
What that means for the rest of the group is because you are he doesn't want to make it sound bad, but you're lesser skilled than some of the other Jedi. They probably will not use you on Jedi missions. While you're on Yavin 4, he'll be able to train you here and there. You'll go through standard Jedi training. But when Shadow Force goes on missions, you're going to go with them instead of the Jedi. So it won't interfere really with your support of your group.
Okay, good. That's all I accept then.
All right. But again, he's got to convince Luke, so it's all going to depend on that.
On one condition.
What's that?
I still get to use lightning.
Lightning is of the dark side, so you'll have to kind of come along.
We'll talk about it.
You'll have to talk about that, see how that
Jedi
goes.
feat that makes you forget things.
You still use your swoosh boosh.
Swoosh boosh. Let's do swoosh boosh.
All right, so you guys now are on your way. You've landed at Yavin 4. Kip is gonna go off, debrief Luke on the mission and all that kind of stuff. In the meantime, if you remember the all those words that were flying through the galaxy before
yeah, I
you
saw
landed,
those.
yeah, that kind of told you what your
Yeah, I
backstory was.
remember.
Those were bombing.
The issue that you've come upon and is the fact that somehow everywhere you've gone, you're getting found by bounty hunters. You have no idea how, but sometimes they refer to Ziltoid as Ziltoid the Omniscient, because he always seems to know whatever he wants to know, he knows. So anyway, all of you realize that this is, we can't operate like this. Everywhere we go, we're being attacked. So anyway, as you land, Kip goes off. Han comes over and starts talking to you about that very thing. You guys are, somehow they know where you are. And the bad news is you're becoming a threat to some of these missions, because sometimes you're called upon to do really important, what would happen? What would have happened if you needed to show up, rescue Kip, and you didn't make it there because you were busy fighting off bounty hunters, and then, Kip would have died on the ship or been turned over. And so he's actually there with Lando, and both of them are talking to him and letting you know that, you guys are going to have to deal with this somehow. You're going to have to find out where this Ziltoid guy is and deal with this. Lando, who has kind of stayed within he always seems to be in the know. One of the things he informs you is nobody knows who Ziltoid is. So you can ask around. No one has a clue who he is. They don't even know if it's a he. And they don't have any idea what species he is. He's number one as far as crime goes, but he's also been amazing at staying completely hidden. No one knows who he is. They just have a name.
So intelligent.
Now, he's number one, whoever he is number one in the crime business, and the number two might have some information on the number one. Number two is Big Bubba the Hutt.
Oh, fun.
And so Lando says, if you've got any contacts that know him, maybe you can talk to Big Bubba and try to find out if he can give you any information at all on his main competitor. So basically, he wants to know: do any of you already know Big Bubba the Hutt?
I do.
Yes, Totem.
Tochum does now. That's why it would have been nice if John was here. They've been all over this part. All right, so basically, that's kind of your plan at this point. You guys are going to have to, because Han and Lando, nobody has any better information about Ziltoid other than go see Big Bubba, because there's just nothing you can do. Nobody can help you find him. They don't know where he is. So anyway, that's currently the plan. You guys are going to have to go do this. Now, as you make your decision that this is what you're going to have to go do, Kip shows up again and informs you that he does have permission to take you on as an apprentice, and he actually also asked if he could go along with this, because this Ziltoid thing is important, but the answer was no, because they have some other time-sensitive, critical Jedi business they have to deal with, so unfortunately he can't go with you on this mission.
Darn, I could use a demigod with us.
Yes, I know, that's what I kind of figured. So anyway, he was happy to inform you that yes, Luke has accepted. He thinks it's a good idea because of his background, that he would make a good master for you. So, you guys are now on your way to Tatooine. I wish he was here. But anyway, you can decide where you want to land on Tatooine. Or is there anything you guys need to discuss while you're on the way? Plans? Any information you think that I should be able to give you about where you're going?
Yes. Is this within any kind of big city?
Oh, first of all, yeah. What Tochum knows is Big Bubba has moved into Jabba's palace.
Oh. Okay.
So
So it's kind of outside.
a hut has taken over where a hut used to be. So the area, out of character, the area is familiar. You
Okay,
guys,
a little metagaming here.
you've seen some.
Is the rancor pitch still in use?
I don't even know
It's
that.
actually a dance studio
Is it what?
now. Dance studio.
Oh yeah.
But they left the body. They left the
For all,
body.
all those hot balls.
That's awesome.
I dress it up every now and then for the occasion.
I said that as Tocha.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I have to text John, man, you're so witty.
yeah. So it's Jabba's old palace from way back in the day. The closest place to land, you can't really land right at his facility. That would be considered rude. Because Tochum is not a direct employee anymore. He has a relationship with him, but he doesn't work for him
Well,
directly.
since he's not here
It-
to answer this, is it a good relationship or bad relationship?
He left on good terms. It was just one of those things where, you know, as a smuggler type pilot, you kind of work where the money is, and he found some other work that he liked, so he's working with you guys now.
Okay.
But he left on good terms, in and out. The closest place to land would be a place called Wayfar.
Way close.
You could literally walk there in about 20 minutes.
So it's really not way
You-
far.
you-
It's really not that far at all.
You could well.
It's way far from some places.
It's way far from
It's
everything.
actually from the video
else.
game of Star Wars Galaxies.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, there was a place called Wayfar that was near Jabba's palace.
But it was also really far away from everything.
Okay.
Yeah,
Land.
it was way far away from everything else. Like Mos Eisley, you could land at Mos Eisley or Mos Espa or you know any of the other names.
Enzma or something like that.
I forget them all.
Is Galaxies?
It's
Most,
gone.
most.
They got rid of that game.
Star Wars Galaxies. Or was it like
There's a massive
real-
multiplayer online. Anyway,
Yes, not the old Republic.
it was based on the original movie era, like right after the Death Star blew up.
Okay.
So there's hardly any Jedi's. Well, long story.
Sure.
So anyway, yeah, you could land at a major city if you guys think you need some sort of supplies. If you get like Mos Eisley, and then take a shuttle over to Wayfar or walk from there or whatever you want to do. It's not super important where you park your ship. Promise.
And
Just
since I'm
just
not
depends
being
on where.
paid, I don't
Yeah.
have any money, so
Don't worry. We have
we should-
$66,000.
Spent all of his money on
Credits.
mirrors.
I think we should probably drop off at Wayfar.
Wayfar is a small place. If you need to pick up supplies, I would go to like a Mos Eisley or something like that.
Does
But
it really need
I can't.
I had 3 frag grenades, so I don't know what else. We
Unless
We
you
still-
can-
I've still
Yeah,
got
he just needs an
hundreds of
iPad.
bullets,
We haven't raised
he
like our
crushes things.
license that way.
That would be awesome.
Well, okay,
Because
so
now we're
the
working
conversation we had last time, there are legal weapons and there are illegal weapons. You can have the illegal ones unless you go to a civilized place. You wouldn't want them to know.
Right.
So, like, if you went to Coruscant, you wouldn't want to walk
Leave those
walk
weapons
around
behind,
town
yeah.
with your military grade weapons because they'd be illegal.
If we went to Wayfar, since it's such a
Tatooine,
much
nobody
smaller-
gives.
Right, that's why
Yeah.
I was wondering.
Yeah, I was wondering if
And
we went
not
to-
only that, you guys might be able to talk to Big Bubba about getting stuff like that.
I was thinking, like, since Wayfar is such a out of the way small place, would there be better guns available to us? But not necessarily.
They would probably be better available at Jabba's versus anywhere else. Otherwise, you're looking at black market
That's true.
prices, which are
Might
like
also
I
get a
think like
discount.
4 times. I'll have to look that up. Like 4 times the cost.
I
But
think what we should do is drop by Wayfar, but I think only a few of us should go because if the whole group goes, it might look a little hostile. 5 guys all heavily armed coming in.
what?
No burgers and fries.
I think maybe a couple of us should stay back. And just in case we need to bug out.
Well, the other option.
Patrick's the most heavily armed guy.
He definitely needs to go.
Well, I know
Totem
I
has
know
to
I'm the
go.
game master, and you guys get to play this portion of it, but you can always have Totem radio in, whatever they call it, and just let him know you guys are coming.
Yeah.
That's the other option. I mean, 'cause he has a good relationship with Big Bubba. He wouldn't feel threatened.
Okay.
That's
fine.
By
So
Totem
we do
and
that, we
company.
can all come. So,
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that idea.
because you got to remember he deals with the same, the bounty hunters, Boba Fett's, all those kind of guys come and go in places like this. So
Okay.
The only one who would feel threatened.
you guys aren't
is
even really all that
Patrick.
seedy.
And if you saw how
And
I
he's-
fought in that
he's
last
pretty.
fight, then
I think that's fine.
So yeah, it's up to you, but no, there's no hostility unless you do something stupid.
Especially
Unless
since
you roll low.
if we all go, there might be a good chance Bubba might give us all a discount on a gun or something. Since we're all friendly.
and I don't
We
know if we
should
can
at
trust
least-
Cindy with our ship.
Yeah, I was about to say we might want to have duty at least be on guard.
He's
If we
not
need to bug
exactly the
out.
most combat ready droid there is.
Just let him,
It's
I'll be
having
ready.
secret-
We should wait. We should have someone wait. That way they can at least radio us if something happens to the ship. Because with how things went last time, I don't want to leave our ship by itself.
I'll stay back. That way I can yell at people if they try to board the ship.
But you've got the
No,
money.
yeah,
you
that's
need,
true.
yeah, you.
And I have the negotiation skills.
Yeah, you make the most peaceful. I say we leave the
I
Jedi.
could say
Yeah, because he's got the mind trick, so we can just like.
This is
Go
not
away.
the ship you're looking for?
I can stay behind. You can do that.
Yeah, and then you can radio when
Yeah.
you need help.
I'll be able to bring Bubba that four of
Okay.
us are coming.
I can do that.
All right, so you guys are going to head into Big Bubba's palace. Let me catch up on my notes here.
Make it right.
Pepsi, there's 2 kinds of Mountain Dew and it's water.
I'm not good.
Can you get me a water?
Yeah.
No.
I think it would be something.
All right, so you guys walk into the palace where you're greeted by some sort of a service droid. I know they're similar to your own. So everybody's there, but who? You stay behind.
Fishy stays home.
Swishies. Swishies stayed home.
All of you are there. You show up, and you see what you see the similar atmosphere of what you all see in the movie. There's a little bit of music playing. There's a bunch of pretty creepy looking characters around. Kind of tough.
Yeah, I do. I want to hear that.
Kind of tough characters running around. You even notice Boba Fett there in the background. So it's your typical.
Spoilers, he's not.
Yeah, it's your typical hut atmosphere, crime lord guy.
Who's drunk?
Can
And-
you
Someone's
go
gotta
and
be
say a few
drunk.
words to Boba Fett? And then
Wrong person to be drunk.
What do you want to?
Can
I mean, that
Chad
is
go
where I
over and
met-
say a few words to Boba in admiration because he's heard of his work before?
Sure.
Sweet. He's just gonna go over there and talk to him.
Okay, make a roll.
Huh?
Make a roll.
Wait,
Please
what's
don't
his
get
stats?
yourself
What's his
like
stats?
that.
Add
face.
anything or is it just a straight
No,
roll?
just make a roll.
And for what? He doesn't want to talk to you.
16.
All right. He doesn't seem nearly as annoyed as I thought he was going to be. He just sort of says whatever, and you get the quick impression that he doesn't really want to talk to you. He doesn't know you.
Keep talking, Will.
Anyway, Totem.
you. Roll again.
Yeah.
Good challenge to toast.
Yes, a joust.
Anyway, Totem and the rest of you all kind of approach Big Bubba, who seems to be expecting you, and then Big Bubba says something like,
Perception
I
roll.
actually wrote this down.
Do I understand Huttese?
Hold on.
Not that it's,
He says,
That's linguistics.
I want him to actually read something that sounds
Yeah,
like
let's go.
Hati. So he says, Mubaka dan hada mobiko nidoyo tocha.
I'm so
That
glad.
was the best I got.
Yes, I understand.
So-
Somebody mark that time in the video. We gotta watch that again.
So the protocol droid.
What time is it? What time is it?
20 minutes and 30 seconds. The protocol droid translates, the almighty Big Bubba greets Tochum and his friends and inquires for the reason of your visit.
Well, he wants really sweet guns, but that's not exactly the
Where the guns at?
point. Where the guns at?
We heard of you.
What?
This is why I stay in the ship.
Yeah, that's a lot of like symbols on my notes. And the droid translates, the magnificent Big Bubba wishes me to remind you to always use a flattering title in front of his name when speaking to him. And I do suggest you don't forget it.
You guys are gonna get me blown up.
The great and powerful Big Bubba. We heard that you may know something about a man named Ziltoid.
Alright, so I'm going to stop talking like the Hut now.
Okay.
And I'll just translate it through the droid. He does know some information on his competitor, basically, is what he's telling you. What do you wish to know?
Use the title. What? Use the title.
Very smart.
I don't want to go
We were hoping that you
use
was
the
the
titles.
magnificent Big Bubba.
I even
Oh, wait.
said
And how does he do that? He doesn't have arms.
Yes, they do.
Footy arm.
You're a stubby arm.
Alright,
We were hoping that you, the magnificent Big Bubba the Hutt, would know something about his whereabouts.
alright, he does know this information is known to him, and to him only. And long story short, he informs you that this type of information comes at a very high cost. What he wants,
Like 66.
he is willing to trade that information for you doing a favor for him. The favor is, can you find it? He has a rare, well, a one-of-a-kind Hut artifact has been stolen by a lady called, she goes by the name of Lady, where'd it go? Lady Malinas. If anybody cares, it's Malinus. I don't think it matters too much. Anyway, she is a crafty thief. She has a hideout somewhere on Tatooine. He's not 100% sure where she is right now, but he wants his statue back, or his artifact statue thing. If you retrieve his statue for him, undamaged, which means don't blow it up with your crappy.
What the heck?
Retrieve it undamaged and destroy her hideout. He will give you this information.
It will be done, my lord Big Bubba.
The just, the fair.
It's starting to sound like Lord of the Rings now.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys want to agree to this mission?
Why are you doing that? Can I shit go real quick? I just had an idea.
No.
He's in the dress with the title.
You guys all agree to this mission?
Yes.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Swoosh isn't aware of the mission. He's sitting on the ship reading a book.
And I'm putting the dead bodies in the foyer. Playing Star
Massive
Chess.
trap in the
Yeah.
foyer.
No, just dead bodies.
Or something you'd like get rid of the evidence.
So-
of massive trap.
So I kind of feel like it's up to you two to make that decision
What decision?
for the trip, for the
Oh,
mission.
to agree to this mission?
Because he's kind of the leader of the group and he knows Big Bubba and whether it would be smart to deny him or not. I'm just kind of a guy with a gun.
He wasn't paying attention. He was looking in the mirror.
Yeah, you guys told me not to take it, but I have like
I've got helmet. I've got helmet hair.
He found the Huts mirror and it's really, really
All
I
right.
think you should have to. I think you should have to pay the credits for the use of the mirror.
I'm out of money. I'm trying to keep a secret.
Well, you've just become what Padme used to be when she was with
I don't mind wearing that.
just
All right.
when we're not there.
So, it sounds like you need an executive decision here.
Ask Toshim if it would be smart to deny them.
Would be smarter than that.
Told you. Ask told you. Somebody text John.
Yeah.
Should we listen to the fat guy?
I'll text it.
The almighty fat guy.
The almighty.
The
fat guy.
Almighty.
The almighty Big Bubba.
Well, while they're doing
No,
this,
you don't really have to text him.
No.
While they're doing this,
No,
can I do
It's
something?
going to anyway.
While they're doing this, can I do something?
I don't care.
I would try to use telepathy to try to talk to.
Jular.
But I have to make it.
Why don't you just use? Come on.
I don't know.
It's not as cool.
I didn't know if I had his number.
No, you do. You do. You do have the ability
Are
to
we
reach.
Are we friends on Facebook?
Yeah,
On
Facebook.
No, it's Buddy Buzz.
Buddy Buzz.
Yeah, you got a friend. And me.
You're actually under his favorites list.
Uh,
But at the very bottom of the favorites. But you're not that.
He gets all of your updates, not just the top stories.
I just wanted to let you know that I'm slowly gaining more and more trust. My best.
Oh, I see. So with the Jedi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not talking to the Jedi.
Yeah. Okay. He thanks you for the update and wants you to.
And I'd like to tell him that I'm under false apprenticeship of Luke Skywalker.
Okay.
Ooh.
He says that was a very wise move. Keep him posted on Luke's whereabouts, and if you ever see an opening where they could attack Luke separate from the rest,
Use it.
Good enough?
Yep.
Alright.
A bit of metagaming. If, like, in game we ever find out about his relationship with Jular,
No, you didn't.
would we do something about that?
I don't care what you do.
Okay.
The better question is, would Darth Negrid do something about that? Okay, so back to the other part of the story. Have you guys decided that this is a required mission because there really is no other way to find out where, what's his name? Ziltoid is.
Takes all the fun out
The,
of
the title of the movie is The Search for Ziltoid. Just to remind her.
And
Yeah.
Well, this is more of
So
finding out
we
where
can
he
do
is.
anything
not
we
the
want
search.
now.
Yes, but you gotta find out where he is before you can search for him. There's a lot of planets.
We could just do a lot more searching the other way.
how long you want this to take?
We agree to it. The almighty
Okay.
Big Bubba.
Alright, so as you leave. My notes go.
Is there a shop that sells like illegal guns or anything? And can I get a discount for going to the owner?
I'll tell you what, let's
black market discounters.
let's move on. Let's move on with the next scene here, and then you might be able to ask those kind of questions. I wouldn't direct those directly to the HUD guy.
The Grand Poobah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grand Poobah.
All right, so as you walk out of there, First of all, nobody asked, Big Bubba doesn't know exactly where this person is, but you are approached by two men. One apparently looks about twice the age of the other. And the older one approaches you and says, "You're being set up for failure." Big Bubba doesn't give out information about Ziltoid. He gives people quests or some completely unreasonable thing to do or to pay, knowing that they can't actually fulfill what he's asked them to do. But the guy that's talking to you says, "I can finish your mission. You have no chance to do it without me." Because the guy that's talking to you used to work for Lady Molinas, and he knows where she is, and he knows where her safe is, and he knows that the artifact is in the safe. And he also knows, he tells you, that if you damage the safe in any way, the artifact is actually made of glass. You'll destroy the artifact. And there's only one way into the safe, and he's heard Lady Molinas herself get in it. So, at the same time that
Can you do a
he...
perception check to see if he's lying.
Yes.
It's a 4. It's a 14.
14.
Well, you got a really high perception rate.
Yeah.
He seems to be sincere. Seems to be a little crafty.
Sure.
I mean, he's in a pretty divey place to start with. But he continues his story and informs you that he's also looking for Ziltoid, because Ziltoid is responsible for his wife's death. And he approached Big Bubba to get the same information, and for him, he wanted 100,000 credits, which he knows he's never going to have. He saved up like 8,000 over the last year, and he knows it's never going to happen. Weak. So, yeah. So, what he's offering is, he's offering to assist you with your mission, and he knows he can help you with yours, and you'll succeed, but he wants to go with you after Ziltoid.
He seems legit to me.
It seems legit to me. I rolled 14.
I'll agree to that.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well, let me introduce to you
Who's the younger guy?
Dex and Mephisto. Is that how you say that one?
Sure.
Mephisto?
That's not a very nice thing to be done.
That's what I told him. It was his choice.
Wait, did you know this was gonna happen?
What? Why else would I sit here and watch a combat for 2 hours?
Because it was a good one. It really was.
I was someone that actually he accidentally leaked it to me.
So anyway, this is Dex. He's the father.
Is he the same Dex from episode 2 that
No,
Obi-Wan
this is Dex. This is Dex Renfield.
Dexter the Dexter.
It's a really clever last name. It's his last name. Dex. Let me find out where it is.
Nice.
Secure my hand.
Okay, Jim's character is a dual pistol wielding smuggler.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome!
Actually, let me see your
Told me
sheet.
that I went, yes!
Yeah, let me see your sheet. 'Cause I made these guys for them. They're starting off at level 2, so you guys are all the same.
What the heck? My wife died. Let me go. Just for the record, you said I was a loser because I only saved up 8,000 credits.
I'm on the ship. I didn't say that.
So anyway, based on the things that I set up for their characters, his special combat actions, Jim has a +1 attack a +1 damage at point blank range. It's a point blank feat. So anytime you're shooting at point blank range, it's 20 squares with pistols. So usually our maps aren't much more than that anyway. So you always get a +1 on your attack and +1 on your damage. You can fire with a full round action, which means you can't move or do any swift actions, but standing still, you can fire both pistols with a -5 to your attack on each one. So you're not as accurate. Usually that's a -10. But because of one of the feats that you have taken, it's only a -5 penalty. So you can use one and not get the -5, but you use two, and it's two separate shots. So it's, you roll twice. And he's carrying. He actually does have illegal weapons. He's got 2 blaster pistols. Both do 3d6 damage. He's got a vibro blade, a vibro axe for melee stuff, comlink, short range, med packs ×2, power packs ×4, and a utility belt. And he also has, under talents, he has Fortune's Favor. If he rolls a natural 20, he gets a free standard action along with his attack. So he can actually shoot again.
So his pistols are as strong as my rifle.
Yes.
He's got 2 of them, dude.
And he's got 2 of them.
Mine are illegal, surely.
Mine are sporting.
Now,
Sporting.
AJ, let me see what I put on yours. Yours doesn't sound as cool as your dad's, because your dad's the first person we've had with two weapons. AJ is very similar to you.
Are they father and son in team?
Yes. Yeah, so his wife, his mom that was killed somehow. He'll probably have to tell you the story.
Night campfire stories.
Yeah, AJ likes to blow stuff up.
Give him the grenades.
Maybe he can roll a d20 better than Fred.
He has a feat called Improved Defenses, which allows him to, if somebody does throw a grenade at him, it always does half damage. Unless they miss, then it actually misses on him.
Oh, nice.
Just kicks the grenade.
He's proficient in weapons, pistols, rifles, and simple weapons. And he has an improved damage threshold, which means he can take more damage without getting hurt. There are penalties. If you get hit by too big of a hit,
Aside from all that, did we heal at all from our last?
yes, he's been plenty of time. Everybody's healed.
Well, aren't you just awesome?
He also
Didn't do
has
damage either.
an illegal carbine, which is 3d8.
Oh.
He has a vibro blade. He has a grenade vest. He has
What's
7.
a grenade vest?
That's the old grenade.
Thank you.
He has 7 frag grenades, which are 4d6 with a radius of 2, and he has 1 thermal detonator, which is an 8d6 radius of 4.
That doesn't matter as much as lightning, does it?
And
Oh my gosh.
yeah, that's.
Say on to that one.
You need to calm down.
I didn't go through what they were trained in. He's got initiative, jump, galactic mechanics, perception, pilot, and survival skills.
We're literally almost exactly.
I have acrobatics.
Except I'm not pilot.
I have terrible acrobatics.
Okay,
Like me.
so let me find out where I stopped on my notes.
I
here.
really didn't expect this, for the record.
Yeah, neither did I.
I really didn't.
I did.
I sat in front of church and told his dad my backstory. Right in front of him.
Right in front of Freddie. Freddie was sitting there playing with his thing, and then I'm sitting there
As
like,
he walked away.
you started talking, and I'm like,
Yep. I walked away, sat down. I was like, yeah, Fred's sitting right there.
Crap.
so then I ended up having to ask him, did you hear what? Yeah, what's he playing?
Nothing.
I told him. He didn't know the details, but.
Nice.
Alright, so introduce both characters.
Oh,
man.
So wait, like,
Okay,
you
so-
have $8 grand on you? That's awesome.
No, I just spent it on a new car.
Yeah. Alright, so Dex's character explains that Lady Molinas has a large underground bunker out by the Dune Sea. It's easy to recognize because it's sort of it's an underground bunker. There's just like one small structure that sticks up. But Lady Molinas doesn't like the desert, so she painted the structure green. It's kind of a mint green. It doesn't stand out real big from a distance, but up close you can tell this is green. Everything else is brown. But she kind of considers it her oasis. So there is a way to find her.
Why is she even on this planet if she doesn't like deserts?
You gotta start somewhere.
You could only save up 8,000 credits.
Jim's not sure if, I'm sorry, Max, Dex isn't 100% sure if he knows the layout of the entire bunker, but he has a pretty good memory of what it was like.
Better than what we have.
And in fact, what he does know is when you go inside, the first room you come to is sort of like a receptionist room. This is her hideout, but she expects people to show up. This is kind of her place of business. So the first room you come to actually does have a kind of a receptionist, like a business. A lot of places are up fronts. They look like a business up front, but it's really a smuggler or a crime place. So anyway, if you get past he's telling you that if you get past the front desk, the next room down the hallway is the security room. There's usually only one guy there watching the cameras and stuff, but if we can stop that guy before he touches any buttons, you should be able to hit individual rooms in this bunker without anybody noticing you're there. No one raises the alarm, because there's hallways. You got to remember everything's underground down here, so there's hallways between each of the rooms, and you can basically blow up a room, and the people down to the next room, they're kind of soundproof. So you could literally have a firefight in a room, and unless somebody's walking in from a hallway, the people in the next room aren't going to know that you're even there if you stop the security guy up front.
Cool.
So,
Does anybody have like sneaky stuff?
Me and Coach in this one are both very stealthy.
So anyway, he gives you that information. He also suggests that you approach at night because you can see forever in the desert during the daytime, and there's usually one guy on the roof just kind of watching out for people incoming.
I don't have a sniper.
And the
Well, we haven't got enough.
one suggestion, and I'm going to leave this totally up to you guys, but one suggestion comes from Dex, is there is a herd of banthas that usually go through that area sometimes in the evening, and you could actually hide behind them if you don't spook them, and possibly get close from there.
I like that idea.
The rest of the story is up to you.
Right, so would we be able to stop and get the weapons?
A good person to ask would possibly be Dex. He has illegal weapons, so he probably knows how to get.
Yeah, because I'd like better weapons. Some
You're just
having
jealous of
some
these
different-
guns now.
I mean, I'm the gun guy here.
All right.
You're not.
So Dex does.
Sweeping up my dead bodies in the morning. What's taking them so long?
Uh,
Your Sith Lord.
for story's sake, Dex knows a guy in Wayfar that actually has a back room in his little adobe with some pretty cool stuff.
We have to go out to get him before we can go back. If he's one of those.
Guys, you really don't want to come back yet? There's bodies.
All right.
everywhere. I haven't managed to sweep them up yet.
Where do I?
And
Let me
you're
find the
using a
weapons real
broom
quick.
to move a pile of dead bodies as opposed to the
Of
force.
course, yeah.
Sometimes you have to go old school, you know?
It builds character.
Teach
He's
you a lot
working on
about
his
life.
strength. He's working on strength for his
It's a bonding experience with dead bodies.
I'm you and Jumar.
Bond with the undead.
You will be soon.
All right.
You will be soon.
Let me see what I got here real quick.
And as
No,
long
you're
as
not gonna
he
touch my
has
lightsaber sword.
access to the weapons, we can have any of them, whether we
Yeah,
have
I
the
like
license
that.
for it or not. And we don't get caught with it.
That is correct.
Okay.
He's like the Joker. He kind of talks to his eyes and like opens their mouth. Talking.
No,
But
Susan,
the
I
landing
can never
part-
be. I'm a fish.
That's awesome. You can make
I
your
will
lightsaber.
allow you on these 2 pages anything you want at 4 times the cost.
Can you come pick me? Can you come pick me up at least?
Yeah, you
You
can
can
throw that.
swap. We can keep calling.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Except you cannot
Bring us
have
to a bike.
the blaster cannon.
Darn it.
You can't have the blaster cannon or the E-web, the blaster E-web thing. Both of those are 3d12s.
Oh wow.
Crap.
I want that.
Isn't that you went
He's
like
like,
well,
The rest of the stuff you can pick out.
Alright.
Fred, why
And
don't you
that's
go pick it up?
relatively cheap too.
4
That's
times that.
$2,000. As opposed to
I think you should maybe go with like that one.